set. The gym stayed open 24 hours a day, but after midnight it felt abandoned. At 2:17 a.m., Marcus was the only person inside. The reception desk was empty. The smoothie bar was dark. Even the music had stopped, leaving only the hum of fluorescent lights and the rhythmic thud of his trainers on the treadmill. He checked the wall clock. 2:17. A minute later, he checked again. Still 2:17. The digital clock above the weights also read 2:17. A strange chill crawled down his spine. The treadmill suddenly slowed, then stopped. Marcus stepped off and looked around. The mirrors lining the walls reflected endless rows of machines, except one reflection wasn't matching. Far behind him, reflected in the mirror, someone was standing beside the squat rack. A tall man, thin, motionless. Marcus spun around. Nothing. The squat rack was empty. His heartbeat quickened. When he looked back at the mirror, the figure was gone. Okay, he muttered. Too much caffeine. He headed toward the locker room. The lights flickered. 1, 2, 3 times. Then every machine in the gym switched on at once. Treadmills started running. Ellipticals moved by themselves. Weights clanged against metal. Marcus froze. The gym sounded suddenly alive, like hundreds of invisible people were exercising. Then came the breathing. Heavy, wet, dozens of breaths, everywhere. He couldn't see anyone, yet he could hear them. Close. Very close. Marcus backed towards the exit. The automatic doors wouldn't open. He hit the panic button. Nothing. Then the lights went out. Darkness swallowed the room. Only emergency lighting remained. A red glow filled the gym, and now he could see them. Figures, dozens of them, standing between machines, watching. Their skin hung loose over skeletal frames. Their eyes were sunken black pits. Each wore faded gym clothes stained dark with old sweat and something far worse. One shuffled forward. Its jaw hung loose. Its teeth clicked together. One more set. Others joined in. One more set. The chant spread through the darkness. Hundreds of whispering voices. One more set. Marcus ran. The creatures followed. Weights crashed behind him. Mirrors shattered. Hands clawed at his shoulders. As he reached the exit, he glanced back. The creatures weren't chasing him anymore. They were surrounding something. A body. His body. Broken beneath a fallen cable machine. Blood spreading across the floor. Marcus stared in horror. Then realization struck. He'd never left the treadmill. The machine had malfunctioned. The cable system had collapsed. He'd died hours ago. The figures weren't haunting the gym. They were all people who had died there before him. And now he belonged to them. The red lights flickered. The clock finally changed. 2:18. White death. The blizzard arrived without warning. Snow buried roads. Power lines collapsed. Visibility dropped to almost knows nothing. By dusk, Sarah's car was stranded on a remote mountain road. The storm screamed outside. She wrapped herself in blankets and waited. Hours passed. Then she noticed footprints outside her window. Fresh footprints leading from the woods toward her car. Her stomach tightened. Someone was out there. She flashed her torch through the snow. Nothing. Just swirling white. Then she heard a knock. 3 taps on the roof. Sarah froze. The roof was nearly 8 feet high. Another knock. Then another. Something was walking on top of the vehicle. The metal creaked overhead. Slow footsteps. Crunch, crunch, crunch. She locked the doors. A shadow passed across the windshield, human-shaped, but wrong. Its limbs were too long, its neck bent at an impossible angle. The figure vanished into the storm. Minutes later, a face appeared outside the passenger window. Sarah screamed. The skin was blue-white, frozen. Its eyes were solid black. Its mouth stretched far wider than any human mouth should, and its smile disappeared. Sarah started the engine. Nothing. Dead battery. The temperature dropped. Breath fogged the glass. Then words appeared in the frost. Run. Sarah wiped them away. More words formed. It found you. The rear door suddenly opened. Cold air flooded inside. Sarah turned. Nobody was there. Snowy footprints appeared across the seats, one after another, as if something invisible had climbed inside. The smell of decay filled the car. Rotting flesh, wet earth. The footprints stopped directly beside her. Silence. Then a voice whispered into her ear. You're warm. Sarah threw open the driver's door and ran into the blizzard. The storm swallowed her. Hours later, rescuers found the vehicle. Empty. Inside, they discovered hundreds of frozen handprints covering every window, and written across the windshield from the inside. Still warm. Sarah was never found. Pump number 7. The gas station sat alone beside a forgotten highway. Nobody stopped there after dark. Locals refused to explain why. When Dylan's fuel light came on, he had no choice. The station looked abandoned. One pump worked. Pump number 7. The shop lights were on, but the building seemed empty. As Dylan filled his tank, he noticed something strange. The numbers on the pump weren't counting fuel. They were counting upward far too quickly. 10 litres, 20, 21, 22, 23. Yet his tank wasn't overflowing. The numbers kept climbing. The pump suddenly stopped at 666 litres. The screen went black, then displayed a message. Thank you for your donation. The shop door opened by itself. A bell chimed. Nobody stood inside. Rows of dusty shelves stretched into darkness. A radio crackled behind the counter. Static. Then a voice. Pump 7 has another one. Dylan backed away. A door at the rear rear of the shop creaked open. Darkness beyond. Something moved. A figure emerged. The attendant, or what remained of him. His uniform was decades old. His face looked melted, burned black. Parts of his skull showed through split flesh. He smiled. "I've been waiting." Dylan ran. His car wouldn't start. The headlights illuminated dozens of people standing around the pumps. Silent, motionless, all burned, all staring. The attendant appeared beside the driver's window, though moments earlier he'd been 50 yards away. Nobody leaves after fueling here. The crowd began walking forward. Dylan slammed the accelerator. The engine roared. The car shot onto the highway. In the rearview mirror, the station vanished. Relief flooded through him until he looked at his fuel gauge. It was empty. Then the radio clicked on. A voice whispered, "Pump 7 follows." The headlights died. The engine stopped. And something burned black climbed onto the hood. The hunter in the pines. Ethan had hunted these woods for years. He knew every trail, every stream, every hiding place. That was why he knew something was wrong. The deer weren't making noise. No birds sang. No insects buzzed. The forest was silent. Completely silent. His radio crackled. Then a voice spoke. His own voice. "Ethan, don't follow it." Static. Then silence. He stared at the radio. He was alone. At least he thought so. A movement caught his eye between the trees. A massive buck. Huge antlers. Pale white fur. The animal watched him, unmoving. Ethan raised his rifle. The buck turned and disappeared. He followed. The deeper he went, the darker the forest became. Soon he realized he couldn't hear his own footsteps. The silence swallowed everything. Then he found tracks, not deer tracks, human footprints, bare feet, thousands of them, all moving in the same direction, toward a clearing. The buck stood waiting there, its eyes glowed softly. Ethan aimed. The buck smiled. His blood turned cold. Animals don't smile. The creature's jaw split wider and wider until its face tore apart. Inside wasn't flesh, it was darkness, a void. The thing rose onto 2 legs, its antlers stretched like twisting branches. The forest suddenly erupted with sound. Screams, hundreds of screams. Ethan recognized some voices. Missing hikers, missing hunters, people who had vanished in these woods for decades. The creature spoke with all their voices at once. "Another hunter." The trees moved, not swayed, moved, leaning closer, watching. Roots burst from the ground and wrapped around Ethan's legs. He fired. The bullet vanished into the darkness inside the creature. No effect. The thing stepped forward, its many voices laughing. You came looking for prey. Its antlers scraped the sky. Now you're prey. Search parties found Ethan's rifle 3 days later. Nothing else. Locals still whisper about a white buck seen deep in the pines. They say if it watches you for too long, you'll feel the urge to follow. And if you do, the forest becomes silent.